Back to our channel. Today we are going to have a look at Endgame number 36 from the book 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de LaVilla. This is a must-read book for all club chess players, and I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to purchase one for yourself. In this video, we are going to have a look at two examples which reiterate the theme frontal defense. This is kind of the last endgame in the same colored bishop and pawn endgames. So this is actually a real game, and here black played king d7. It looks natural to bring the king behind, and as white is advancing to f8 square, it kind of looks like a natural winning move, drawish move. And after king g6, king e8, bishop f4. Here after king e7, bishop g7 is played, attacking the bishop. Bishop cannot take the bishop on g7. So after black retreats the bishop to c5, then f6 is played. And as you can see, this is a winning endgame for white. So going back to the original position, the correct idea is for black is instead of bringing the king to d7, they have to use the frontal defense. The whole idea is to bring the king to g4. So we'll see how it's done. After king d5, king g7, here black brings the king to g4. Now obviously all throughout this sequence of move, black's bishop was defending the f6 square, so there was no possibility of an advance. Now, as we know, if you had looked at endgame number 34, if you haven't, please have a look at it. You will understand this is a drawish endgame. The reason for that is black's king is opposite white's king behind the pawn, and the bishop is eyeing the f6 square. And the another requirement is this diagonal here is 4 squares or more, which means it's a drawish endgame for black. This is called the frontal defense. Instead of bringing the king back, you bring the king forward and gain opposition in front of the white king, and this is a drawish position for black. In the second example, it is also relating to the frontal defense. So how can black draw this position? First, we'll have a look at how, if black makes a mistake, how can white win this position. So after bishop h5 is the correct move for white. The whole purpose is to deny this e8 square for black king. If the black king is able to come to d8, the whole game is over. It's a draw. You cannot chase the black king away from d8, and it's a drawish position. So bishop h5 is the correct move, and after bishop h3, and as you can see, white's idea is to simply bring the king to c7. And after the king is c7, by this time, if you had looked at endgame 34, you should know black should have brought their king to c5 to have any chance of drawing endgame. However, the king is still stuck on f8, and as a result, this is a winning endgame. White can simply, if you look at endgame 33, you will know how to kick this bishop off from this diagonal, and after that, with the help of the king, this pawn is able to queen. So going back to the original position, after bishop h5, bishop h3, king e5, bishop d7, and after king d5, instead of bishop a4, black should have played king g7. The whole idea, as I told, is to bring the king to c5. After king c5, king f6, and we now understand the frontal defense. The black king is opposite white king behind the pawn, and another important requirement is this diagonal has to be 4 squares or more. Look at endgame 34, and and you'll understand how to draw this position. It meets all the requirements, and you cannot the white bishop cannot defend this pawn, because the whole idea is the black bishop is able to move from diagonal to diagonal. Because this diagonal is 5 squares or more, it's able to move between this diagonal and this diagonal, and prevent this pawn from promoting. And this is the final endgame of this series of same colored bishop and pawn. The next series in this 100 endgames series is knight versus bishop with a pawn. In that video, I'll hope to catch you in that video, and it's bye for now.